It's better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. A lesson Dabo Swinney learned, again, the hard way this weekend. Hey guys, thanks for coming to the channel. Thanks for watching this video. Appreciate all the kind words and the comments and all the support. Channel has grown by over 750% over the last 6 months. We've gone from 400 subscribers all the way up over 3,000. That's been really neat, but we're not anywhere close to done. So let's keep it going. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't and you're watching this video. Last week, South Carolina upset Tennessee in spectacular fashion. Final score was 63-38. In a weird move, Dabo Swinney went on a rant about Tennessee. Not sure exactly what his motivation or his angle was for this. But what he said was, they're flipping burgers during the conference championship weekend like we're going to Atlanta or Phoenix. Talking about the playoff there. And next thing you know, you forget you got to go play. They end up losing to South Carolina. Dabo wasn't necessarily wrong here. Tennessee did overlook South Carolina, and it did cost them a shot at the playoff. I'm just not sure what Swinney's motivation was for this. Was he campaigning for a playoff spot for his team? Was he highlighting how his team didn't have a huge letdown loss yet? Was he trying to show how important it is for teams to earn a spot in their conference championship game? Maybe a little bit of all of these, but man, if it isn't your own takes. In true Clemson fashion, the Tigers eliminated themselves from playoff contention by dropping a game at home as huge favorites to the South Carolina Gamecocks. Dabo gave the blueprint in his press conference a week ago. Do not overlook South Carolina. And what did his team do a week later? They overlooked South Carolina, and now they get to flip burgers during the playoff while they sit at home. This is classic Dabo, though. Says dumb stuff, and it comes back to bite him. He constantly sticks his feet in his mouth, and then it comes back to bite him in the rear. Contrast this with Mike Norvell, who is always very calculated in what he says. He's always respectful of other programs, their coaches, and their players. He doesn't make jokes about teams flipping burgers or choking in big games. Was Mike Norvell talking crap about UF losing to Vandy last week? Was Mike Norvell taking wisecracks at Miami or Texas A&M this season? Absolutely not. He's a professional and doesn't stoop to the position of pettiness. Though I personally enjoy a good jab here and there, Mike Norvell is all business. Clemson has been the kings of the ACC since 2015. Nobody's even really challenged them for that spot. And they're likely going to win it again this upcoming weekend with UNC on the docket. But it's never been more apparent that the massive cracks in the foundation of the Clemson program are there, and they're getting larger and larger. Clemson's not the same team that they have been in recent history. Florida State has certainly closed the talent gap somewhat, and they're talented enough to be competitive for the last couple of years. Now it's time to see in 2023 if they can close that gap enough to beat them. Clemson's still recruiting very well, and their talent level is still top 10 in the country. But Florida State's is very close to that. The problem with Clemson is they've fallen out of being national title contenders year after year after year. And they're just an above-average team, which there's nothing wrong with that, but they're not competing for the ultimate prize any longer. Similar to how FSU was the few years after Jameis Winston. A good team, but not a team that was going to compete for it all. What will the future hold for Dabo and company? There's really no telling. What I do know is that he will continue to say dumb stuff, and it'll continue to cost him. Look at the trajectories of both teams. Florida State's certainly a program that's on the rise. Clemson is a program that over the last 3 or 4 years looks to be declining, especially considering where both programs were just 3 or 4 years ago. Florida State was winning 5-3 in 5 games. Clemson was out there competing for national titles, making the playoffs, having Heisman winners, and really being a dominant force in college football. The two programs heading in opposite directions, At this moment, does that continue? Does it stabilize? We'll see. The ACC is still Clemson's for now, but with the 3-team pods coming, they won't get the benefit of just playing a horrible Coastal team year in and year out in Charlotte. Change is coming, and it's good news for Florida State. I'm not quite sure if it's good news for Clemson or not. What are your thoughts? Comment below if you thought Dabo's comments were weird and strange. Let me know how you felt about Clemson blowing their game against South Carolina just days after Dabo's comments. And what do you think about the future of FSU and Clemson? What do you think about the future of that matchup? What do you think about the ACC in general? Is Florida State going to continue their upward trajectory? And is Clemson going to continue their downward trajectory? Likes and subscribes are great, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on Dabo, FSU, Clemson, and the future of the ACC down below. Appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch this video. We'll talk to you guys again soon. Go Noles. Want to give one quick special shout out to The Gramco. We did a phenomenal tailgate with them in Tallahassee for the Florida game. We'll do another one with them wherever FSU plays their bowl, supposing it's in the state of Florida. TheGramco.com, your leader for Delta 8 products. You can use code TJ25. That's TJ25 to save 25% off of your order. If you're into the Delta 8 products, if you've not tried them, go ahead and give them a shot. TheGramco.com. TJ25 to save 25%.